The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Top of the morning to you. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Let's get into it. And yes, I'm back in the office, baby. I'm back in the office, baby. Listen, you guys, chat, you've done bad. Okay? So many of you out there, so many of you liked the bright lights of the other setup. Like, it was ridiculous. Normally, I like it nice and dark, barely visible. But I decided, since so many of you guys were bitching about it, that I tried to make it lighter. I tried to lighten it up. So let's see. Let's just see. I don't know. Maybe the stream's broken. It's so bright. The background is actually not that bright. It's just the cameras on me that are a little more bright. I don't know. Maybe we could brighten up the back. I don't know. Is it? I look shiny? That's probably not good. That's probably how you know you have too many lights on you, when you look shiny. Back to the kitchen? Jesus Christ. Like a shiny Pokemon? The camera's off center? What do you mean? Is it off center? It's good enough. You look like a vampire? Do I look way too pale? Little uplight on the cases would be cool. Yeah. That'd actually be kind of fun. A little bit of light in there maybe would be good. He means different angle. We can see more of the desk now. That's true. You can see more of the desk. Got a little Goku over here. You can actually see my Dritz Duwarden mouse pad that I have on. I actually didn't plan for that. Now I'm kind of embarrassed. The world is a vampire, indeed. Digging the new studio. Guess I'll just take a while before it looks good as the old one. What the fuck? How would you rate that chair? That's pretty good. Not bad. Decent little chair. the Doom go? Doom's in the other room. I'll get Doom back in here, though. Get one of those fancy ring lights around your camera so that you can show your age. What does that even mean? Josh, how are you? I'm good. I'm doing good. Actually, definitely excited to be back in here, all jokes aside. It's just weird being in an unfamiliar setting when you're, doing your thing or whatever. Thoughts on the AI article that you shared in Discord this morning? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI later on, and I guess I'll probably touch on some of the stuff they're talking about in that article. I skimmed that article a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. Did you hear that Doomsday trailer will be attached to Mando Grogu? Oh, yeah? I mean, that's one way to probably make some money on that movie. I wonder if they're... Great to be back in the garage, yeah. Here in my garage. What did he say? He's like, I like knowledge. I'm about knowledge. Here in my garage. With knowledge. Anyway. Been way too cold around here? Yeah, it's been cold around here too. If you have to get a new, bigger place, do you want the studio in a bigger room? Yeah. We thought about that. I think probably yes. Probably a little bit of a bigger room. The only problem with the bigger room thing is like the acoustics or whatnot. But you could probably fix that. Ty Lopez reading a book to become a billionaire while renting a house. 100%. Yeah, man. 100%. 100%. You have no drip. Oh, that. I don't know exactly what that means. Is that good? Is that bad? No drip? What's that? What's a drip? I guess that's one way the Grogu movie doesn't flop hard. Yeah. So where is that report coming from? Because that would be kind of fascinating. Imagine if they do a version of what they did with Avatar, with the Doomsday posters, but they do the Spider-Man or the trailer. They do the Spider-Man trailer, and they try to convince everybody to go to Mando and Grogu for to see the Spider-Man trailer. God, I would be so fucking mad if that actually worked, though. My God. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen. We're going to find out. We're going to find out together, as I always say. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of shit going on in the world that we're about to find out. And the thing is, I don't even think a lot of us fucked around. But we're still going to find out. That's the unfortunate reality that we live in. So we got good things, we got bad things to talk about. I want to talk about Spider-Man Noir, or Spider Noir, I think the show is being called. Y'all see that? Did you guys see that? Did you see the promotion for Spider-Man Noir? Are you guys ready to admit that I was right again? Because that shit looks great. We're going to gush about it. I'll fill you in on the details and whatnot. Star Wars releases a statement about the Super Bowl trailer. It's probably not good. I have some thoughts. We'll get into it. AI probably just reached a tipping point. It says here in my notes, we are totally fucked. Safety people leaving massive companies. Speed Dance 2.0, imaging. So we'll get into that a little bit. And then finally, we shall land upon new leaks and rumors that are super cool about the X-Men in Avengers Doomsday. They're pretty dope, man. They're pretty dope. They also answer some questions that we've had about what the X-Men are going to be doing in that movie. And holy shit, dude, it sounds insane. I don't know if y'all were watching or paying attention to a lot of the rumors that we've been going over, but it's been for a while. We've been thinking, oh man, this X-Men universe is probably very evil and dark. That's pretty crazy. I wonder how audiences are going to respond to that. Well, we just found out, according to one of the leakers out there, the degree to which they have been destroying universes, and it's pretty wild. So maybe some of you guys have checked it out. I don't know. It's we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be pretty crazy. The Ring commercial was crazy. Yeah, the Ring commercial was crazy. Wasn't that on Sunday though? Right? Wasn't that on Sunday? What are the chances that they kill the X-Men in the first 3 minutes? Very low, man. I would say that's not the way I understand this shit. Yeah. Comics Explained drama? I don't know anything about that, guys. I heard that, like, Rob, like, I vaguely saw something was going on with Twitter where he felt like the need to, like, explain himself about something. But yeah, other than that, I really don't have any idea what it is. I've been doom scrolling on stuff way crazier than that, frankly. But they can be evil as hell, but we'll still root for them over the new Avengers. Yeah, I know. That's actually kind of an interesting one. I wonder if we will still root for them. Did Rob and Josh break up? I haven't talked to Rob. I mean, I texted him couple weeks ago or a month ago or something like that, but no, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. If there's something going on, I missed it. I missed it. But yeah. When is the trailer for Mando movie coming out? Well, we just had one, man. Didn't you watch the Super Bowl spot? 120 million people, best marketing decision of all time. Everybody's all excited for it. Movie's gonna blow the fuck up. Don't you know? So will Earth 616 cease to exist post Secret Wars? No, we'll still have Earth 616. It'll probably be a little bit closer to what it was before the first Multiverse War and Kang and all that shit. They're using Prime Universe a lot, the leakers and scoopers, so it'll be something like that, but yeah. Let's go. Seahawks Super Bowl champion, League of 2026. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Best trailer in history of trailers. Yeah, it was an all-timer, man. It was an all-timer. I think the only thing that would have made this whole situation better is if they actually released the statement while the trailer was airing. It would have saved them some confusion and money as well, right? Air the trailer and then have the disclaimer, like, either scrolling text-wise on the screen or have Sam Elliott actually just saying that. Like, can you imagine? Like, Sam Elliott's literally like, what you're watching is a nostalgic throwback to a beer commercial that some marketing genius at Disney thought would get you excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But this does not represent the movie, and it's not in the movie, and this is really weird. Go see the movie, though. I'm Sam Elliott. Probably would have saved them a little confusion with their audience, but don't worry. We will do the next best thing, which is go over the statement that was made retroactively. It's going to be a good show, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up your fucking buttholes, man. I am excited to get into all of this. What a wild fucking world. What a wild fucking world, and what a beautiful opportunity to do my fucking thing and get out here and just yap about this shit, because it is really and truly pretty wild. Also, I really do feel like the lights are too bright. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to try not to get hyper fixated on it. But I do think the lights are way too bright. We'll talk about it later. It was a decent Sam Elliott. Hey, thanks. I like the lighting. So the people that like the lighting, they have bad taste. The lighting is not good. Are you in heaven? Does it look like I'm in heaven? Star Wars Sith, did you just basically ask me if I'm an angel? You hit me with a little Anakin Riz? Are you an angel? I'm not an angel. I'm a streamer and I'm really mad. What's that do for you? Too much light? Yeah, I agree. The lighting is shit, says Jawray1191. Thanks, bud. That's very helpful. Appreciate that. Bro, it's your space. Set it so you're comfortable. Chat's just rage baiting. Well, now you're rage baiting about them rage baiting, and now I don't know what to believe. Angel of Death. You need some background lighting, and you'll be good. Oh, okay, thanks, Daniel. The lighting is shit. We want dark room, Josh. Bang. Dang, dog. This guy's cap lock is stuck, I think. I'm so miserable now. The lighting is good. Okay, I believe you. I choose to believe you. Turn off the lights and max out your gain. Yeah, you guys are about to give me a career-ending cortisol spike, and I'll Jester Goon max all over your face. All right, let's get into the news. Let's get into some news, huh? Hey, did y'all see the stuff about Spider Noir? Because I did, and I want to share it with you guys because I'm actually pretty excited about it. So this is kind of cool, man. This came out Tuesday via Esquire, big old spread in the mag, talking all about the Spider Noir show. And they showed off some of the visuals for this show. I think this shit looks absolutely incredible. Chat, would love to know what you think. Let me know. There is also a black and white version, by the way. Apparently, they're going to release two versions of this show, black and white version and a stylized color version of the show, which is pretty cool. There he is, Nick Cage himself, playing not Peter Parker and technically not Spider-Man. He is playing a private investigator known as Ben Reilly, who in the comics is a clone of Peter Parker. That's kind of interesting. And he will be known as the Spider, not Spider-Man. But he looks good, man. There he is, Ben Reilly, private investigator. That's him looking out the window there. Now, we've seen some leaked set photos. You know, they shot this really cool action set piece with the Spider or Spider Noir or Spider-Man Noir. I guess it's going to be, people probably refer to it in all sorts of ways, but he's on these like Model T Ford cars. They were using wire work, practical effects. It looked really cool. And we know some of the casting in the movie as well. Really, really high-profile actors in this thing, including Nick Cage, which I also just think is crazy, right? It's just crazy to have Nick Cage playing this role and doing this thing. And so I think this Esquire piece did get people talking. Like, a lot of people thought it was really, really cool. And I frankly think this show is going to be a big hit. You know, I've kind of talked about that. I've kind of tried to sell you guys on that for a while, and I'll speak more on that in just a minute here. But I also think, you know, for me personally, like one of the reasons I'm really excited about this show is it feels like this is the direction that the superhero genre, especially in live action, needs to go in. This honestly feels a little bit more like the direction I wish the Multiverse Saga had gone in. You look at like what happened to the MCU in Phase 4 and Phase 5, and I think one of the fallbacks or one of the ways in which Marvel kind of fumbled that was they were too addicted to like creating a multiversal variant of what they already had and didn't utilize the full access to the multiverse to tell really cool sort of elseworldy type stories. So this show is a little bit more mature in tone. It's a very expensive show, which we'll talk more about in a second here. High profile actors. It's a, you know, 40s, 50s style, you know, Bogart kind of, like a Humphrey Bogart kind of feel, vibe, aesthetic for the show. Apparently there's just like a ton of action. It's going to be really cool. But at its core, this is a show that is taking what you know about Spider-Man, taking a character you kind of already know, because Nick Cage voices Spider-Man Noir in the animated stuff. Okay, but it's actually using the full flavor, the full sauce of that idea without being connected to basically anything else, and it's like forging its own path. I think that is honestly the direction that the genre needs to go in. In some ways, Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and to a degree Sony as well, because remember, Sony was trying to do their own version of this, building out Madam Web, Morbius, the animal rights activist Kraven, all that shit. They were trying to do this as well, and sometimes what is a benefit as far as your canon and the connection can get over bloated, and you can become a victim of your own success. And, you know, when I look at Marvel, I think the What If show is probably one of the best examples to show what I'm talking about. What If had the opportunity to be absolutely ridiculous in its multiversal versions, and yet they decided to just do twists on the familiar of the MCU, thereby kind of putting the creative shackles on this thing. So I'm really excited for this show, not just because I think it's going to be really fucking dope, but I think there's room for the genre of superhero stuff to kind of go in this direction. Maybe Sony themselves will do multiple seasons of this, but maybe even other versions. Like, I'm thinking of like a sci-fi version of a show that has 2099, Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. But you'd obviously make it very different if it was in the vein of the Spider-Noir show, and he's not even called Spider-Man, and you're taking all sorts of liberties, putting a new twist on an old lemon, in a sense. I think that's awesome. And I hope that this show is really successful for that reason. And so, yeah, we've got a ton more information about the show, and we have this first look. I also do want to say, and let me just bring this up here. I wanted to say that the budget of the show is really, really an interesting point of conversation as well. So apparently Daniel RPK said it is bigger than people would expect, with an epic fight between Ben Reilly and Sandman. Now, the tweet I have up here, and this is true, and I think I've even talked about this a little bit on stream before. What I heard was that the fight over budget for this show got so intense that Lord and Miller were basically willing to walk away from Sony and their relationship with Sony just in general. That's sort of the last I heard of it. It would appear that got smoothed over. And if what Daniel was saying is true about it being way bigger than people realize, then I would imagine Lord and Miller sort of won that fight. They got the budget, the money that they wanted, or at least they got more to a degree that was acceptable to them, and they continued working with Sony. So I really think this is sort of a sleeper hit, and maybe people are starting to wake up to that, because it really does look great, and the set photos look great, and yeah, so it seems just great all around to me. So I'm generally just really excited about this, and I think it's awesome that it's Lord and Miller that could really be injecting a creativity into the genre of superhero live action stuff that is needed. So that's the take. I would love to know what you think about this, chat. Like, are you guys vibing with this? Are you excited about this? Do you think it's gonna be really, really good? Do you think it's gonna be like lame? Like, are you not vibing with it and you just wish they would do Spider-Man? Looks fire. Yeah, cast is peak too. Yeah, the cast is really good, man. They've got really talented people on this thing. And I think it's just, I really think it's Lord and Miller. Now, around the time of, like, I'm saying all the way back to when we were first finding out about Spider-Man No Way Home, I believe Lord and Miller signed this big contract with Sony. And the live action shows, remember they were supposed to design a suite of shows. That's what was out there, the suite of shows. And we know Olivia Wilde at one point was maybe involved, and maybe there was going to be there was that Cindy Moon show that they ended up killing. Remember, they brought in people that were going to make it male skewing, and then they ended up just killing that. I actually don't think that was Olivia Wilde. I'm blanking on who that was. But Olivia Wilde was going to do a different movie that may or may not happen. But point is, the television stuff with Lord and Miller, they've been sitting on that contract for a long time, and it would appear it's been difficult, right? It's been difficult. They killed the Sydney Moon show for this, essentially, and I think this is, like, a lot of the eggs are in the basket of this thing. I think Sony's probably a little frustrated with the process so far. I bet Lord and Miller are frustrated with the process. They've come together and make this. Now, I really think this is going to be good, man. I think it's got some ingredients. Crazy how Sony fought against an actual good Spider-Man project. Can't wait to see Lord and Miller. What Lord and Miller do with this, Kaylin said. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think they're really brilliant. I think what they've done with the Spider-Verse movies is incredible. And I really think this for them was a big, big deal. Like, a lot of the buzz and the things that I've heard is like, yeah, this one's the one for them. Like, they're really hoping that this does something to the genre, and certainly shows Sony that they were right in a lot of ways. Yeah, look, and I think, like, one of the things we talk a lot about, where is the audience at right now with superhero stuff? And I think there's a whole bunch of people that are still willing to maybe check out superhero stuff. There's a fatigue of certain things within the superhero genre, and maybe there's a fatigue of, like, how they've been doing superhero movies for like 10, 15 years, and the shows. you know, I would say this, for some people, they look at a show like Wonder Man, and they think, or they say, like, that's the antidote. Like, the antidote is to the superhero fatigue is make superhero shit that's not superhero. And I don't think so. I'm like, nah, fam. No, again, you know, if you like Wonder Man, it's all good, and I know a lot of you do, but I don't think that does much for the genre. It is a piece in the catalog that is better, maybe arguably, than a lot of other pieces of the catalog, especially on streaming, but I don't think it does much for the genre. A show like this, I have very high hopes for, because it's going to be a superhero show with a very cool stylistic, aesthetic kind of a thing going on. Its visual language seems very distinct. You know, 1940s, 50s. Hey, listen here, look here, see? Listen up, sweetheart, you know? That kind of a vibe. But also, like, he's fighting Sandman, and they probably spent millions of dollars on that fight. And I bet it's going to look fucking awesome, dude. I bet the action of this movie's going to, or this show's going to be fucking awesome. So, yeah, really excited. Low-key more excited for this than Brand New Day. Brand New Day seems too good to be true, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited for Brand New Day as well, but there's something about this show that Brand New Day does not have. There's a freshness here. There's like a newness here. There's something about the Spider Noir show that I am, at the very least, incredibly intrigued by. You know, and in Spider-Man, I'm more intrigued by, like, what the fuck are they doing with this? It's still MCU. Sure, it's probably going to be darker. We're going to talk about Brand New Day, because I think Brand New Day is going in a sort of darker, lonely direction for Peter, and that's going to be interesting. But this is going to be like, this is going to have an edge, man. Like, this I just feel like this project has a level of intrigue and mystery and maybe even potential that the MCU projects currently do not have. Right? So that's where I'm at. Hey, appreciate the 5 spot, but there's no message there. There's no message there. I don't think it's fatigue. I think there's been not many great projects, truthfully. Yeah, there's that's true, but if there's a bunch of projects that are not that great, and then you begin to grow tired of the release of projects and you gain sort of an expectation that they're probably not going to be that great, then that's like definitionally fatigue. Like, that's what we're talking about. But sure, people are always willing to check out quality projects, superhero or not. Yeah, I don't agree with that. No, that's not true at all. There's plenty of really great movies that underperform that nobody really checks out, and plenty of the smash hits from the last 50 years of movies would not be considered good or great by many people's standards. That is actually not true at all. I bet Nick Cage actually kills it and does amazing. Yeah, I would imagine so. I think Nick Cage is an incredible actor. I'm a Cage head, frankly. I really like Nick Cage. Like, I'm like a fan of all the weird shit he does. I'm a big Cage head, so I'm into that. Also, Cage is he's a comic book fan. You know what I mean? Like, he had a Action Comics #1 at one point, and there was something really cool. When I was watching interviews for Dream Scenario, which is a great movie. I love that movie. I actually watched that movie with chat on Twitch stream like about a year ago or whatever, and there's a really funny clip of me laughing at the film. But I love that movie, and I remember watching interviews with Cage around that time, and one of the interviews, he's talking about the superhero genre, and he's talking about how he enjoys some of the projects like Dream Scenario because it's so fresh, new, and crazy, and it's like it feels very novel. And there's a lot about comic book formula that sort of locks you in a bit. But he said what the genre is doing, the comic book genre, is it's all about like the next issue or the next appearance or the next adventure. Like, the serialized nature of comics and the sort of pulpy nature of those stories was always about what's coming next. And Marvel and a lot of the superhero genre has taken that concept and adapted it into live action. So some of the stuff you're doing with the superhero genre is par for the course, and it's actually a brilliant adaptation of that thing that people enjoyed. And when I heard Cage say that, I was like, damn, like Nick Cage really fucking gets it, man. Like he just really gets it. Like he's a cinephile. He loves movies. He loves crazy outside of the box stuff, but also like he still like has a boyish heart that remembers the joy of serialized comic book reading and understands why the genre in live action is doing what it's doing, and it is working, or at least it was working, right? Yeah, Cage will kill it, man. He is an incredible actor. He has an affinity for the craft, but he's also a giant nerd and understands at the end of the day what those fans really want. Yeah, he almost played Superman, 100%. $10 holla from Braden, appreciate you, says, curious if this Sony attempt at a soft launch transitioning their animated characters to live action, as this is supposed to be a continuation of Noir's character from the Spider-Verse movies. I don't think this is supposed to be a continuation of his character from the Spider-Verse movies. If that is out there, please link me to that. I don't actually think that's what it is at all. And I think that might be a part of the confusion between them and the studio, frankly. You know what I mean? So if that is out there, like, let me know. But look, I actually don't think so at all. What I think could be the case, to sort of stretch it to that, maybe, I could see Lord and Miller thinking to themselves, in the same way that movies in 2008 all the way to, you know, whatever, when Endgame was, in the same way that movies, and mainly we're talking about Marvel here, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they established separate characters that were very unique and then eventually bring them together for an Avengers-like thing. I could maybe see a scenario in which long-term thinking, maybe possible goal for Lord and Miller is to build up versions of what we might have seen in some of the animated stuff, and then maybe bring them together. I could potentially see that, but that's more, I mean, that's speculation. You know what I mean? That's speculation. Zach says, I really like Wonder Man, yet I agree with you completely. It does nothing for the brand other than adding to the fatigue. Much love, Josh. Revenge for life. Yeah, appreciate you, man. The main point I'm making about Wonder Man is that I don't think it does a lot for fans like me, and maybe groups of fans that feel similar to me, which is like, yeah, they still like superhero genre stuff, less interested in all the cutesy Hollywood, you know, behind the scenes, you know, whatever. Like, I'm just not really interested in that at all. I'm into epic superhero shit, and I want like a catharsis as I follow a hero. I don't want to like explore all these highbrow ideas. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of hope that a show like this serves those fans better and gets those fans more engaged than something like Wonder Man. Fish Productions says, with Thor's personal connection in the comics to the Phoenix Force, do you think they could explore him in Cyclops? Maybe they share it. No, I don't think so. Appreciate the 5 though. JBK says, what's the name of the instrumental in the intro, Josh? I'm not sure, man. I probably play like a lot of different instrumentals. I just cruise through different playlists on Spotify, or I'll use Creator Music on YouTube, and then whatever I like, I'll do it. 5 episodes in, I wasn't impressed. Wait, with what? Josh, in retrospect, after Endgame, looking at how high the peak was for superhero genre compared to the current state at the time, did you think Marvel would struggle this much? No, I certainly did not. And I do think so if like you went back in time or whatever, there would be different versions of this that I think Marvel could have done a lot better at, you know? Yeah, it's a little bit like turning the Titanic around. And as somebody that was like really close to this too, because remember, I'm covering Marvel the whole time, and I'm like the fucking best. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to brag, but I really am like kind of the best. Incredible sources, great critical thinking skills, pattern recognition that would blow you the fuck away. Like, I'm the man at this shit. And my perspective as following Marvel as this all went down was basically that they knew certain things weren't working. They thought they had a lot of goodwill, and they were willing to like just keep all the plates spinning, thinking it would just come around. And unfortunately, that did not happen. They make certain moves way too late in the game. They probably should have canceled a lot of shows and just recalibrated what their television side was actually going to be. But it's all like, I also look back at that time and understand that in hindsight, it looks like that move was obvious. At the time, there's probably a lot of reasons why it didn't seem obvious. Eventually, they do change it, though. They get showrunners, you know what I mean? Like, they stop the bleeding. They turn things around. They fire multiple executives. They changed a lot. Like, Marvel's changed a lot, brother, you know? So, no, I guess to answer your question completely and truthfully, no, I could not have actually imagined that it would have been this bad. And it is sort of like almost a Lemony Snicket novel, like in the way that some of this went down. Because like the Spider-Man thing, like the fact that Sony rug pulls Spider-Man in 2019 right before big announcements, and then we go into lockdown and stuff like that. Like there's stuff that they didn't do, right? Like when you make Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because like guys, oh man, you really got me fucking yapping on this shit, dog. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier is literally called Pandemic Productions when they create the LLC. It's about a pandemic. It's actually about terrorist cells that make a bioweapon that was going to be a pandemic that Bucky and Sam Wilson try to prevent. A lot of people don't know this, but it's pretty established. It's in Joanna Robinson's book. Ryan Aries talked about it. A lot of people talked about it, okay? People underestimate what that did to the entire fucking company. Because number one, it's why Falcon and Winter Soldier is a terrible show, because they gut it and its finale is goobly glob because they have to just try to cut it all together. It's why the villains feel so unfulfilled. But on top of that, it leaves this big sort of hole where they have to like try to explain these other things. And it's like things just start falling apart. And then I think the ultimate harm was done by them basically just saying, well, we got to kind of keep this vague and move fast and loose. But what that meant was we're going to start removing connective tissue between our shows. We're going to start removing hard confirms of like plans and setup and things of that nature. And so the whole thing starts to feel disconnected. And it was. But it's not like they were like, let's make Marvel less connected. Do you know what I mean? It's more the case that they chose poor solutions to very real problems, and that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it was a very tough thing. But ultimately, yes, they made a lot of bad decisions. They made a lot of bad decisions. Yeah. All right. Any other talk on the Spider Noir? Where you guys, let me just ask you this before we move on. Where's your hype level for this show out of 10? Just be honest. Where's your hype level for this show out of 10? Because I'm pretty high, man. I'm pretty high on the show. I'd have to say I'm at an 8 at least. Check the new poster. What new poster? What, for this show? Hard to get hyped nowadays. Hey, I hear you there. Okay, so we got some mix. Some people are really, really into it. Some people are really excited, and some people are in like the 5s or 6s. Some people are like, not at all. Interesting. Be really interested to see how this does. It's still Sony. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I will be pretty interested to see how this show does, man. Okay. Cool. All right, you guys ready to talk about Warhammer for the rest of the stream? Just kidding. Don't leave. But we could talk about a little Warhammer if you want. Yeah, I mean, it's up. Hey, I mean, guys, there's 2 paths in front of us. Okay, so it's a little bit of a choose your own adventure kind of vibe. There's one path that takes us to talking about Star Wars. And then there's another path that takes us to talking about Warhammer. Which way, Western man? Which way? Nah, we gotta shit talk Star Wars a little bit, baby. I didn't hear no bell. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about the X-Men. It's gonna be really cool. Shut your mouth. Let's complain about Star Wars just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Okay, Star Wars. Did you guys see this? Did you see this? Did you hear about this? Hey, did you see this? Did you hear about this? Star Wars had a pretty fucking terrible Super Bowl trailer. By the way, I've watched a lot of the discourse on the interwebs, okay? Heard John Campy gave a nice little rant about it on Monday as well. It would appear many folks in the space and the pundits, the influencers out there talking about nerdy shit, it appears a lot of us are on the same page. That shit was ass. Nobody liked it. Now, not everybody shares that opinion. There's a few people out there that think it was cool and brilliant and fucking whatever, man. But most people thought it was ass. Well, it turns out Disney had to put out a statement about it. Check this out. Shut it. What the fuck? Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Listen, Linda. Okay. Lucasfilm marketing brand lead Ryan Stankiewicz, more like stink of it up with that trailer, bitch, clears up the confusion about the Mandalorian and Grogu Super Bowl ad. Quote, our creative and marketing team landed on a unique concept that gave a nod to big game sports of years past. It captured the warmth, humor, and emotional connection between these two beloved characters and was the perfect next step for our campaign as we lead up to the big screen debut this summer. Oh, man. Okay, so a couple of different thoughts here right off the bat. My first thought is just like the Epstein shit. I want the names, dog. You know, you say our creative and marketing team, like, I want the names. Who decided this? Who said this was a good idea? Unredact the files. That's my first thought. Second thought. Okay, and this is actually going to really blow your mind. Here's the deal. This is actually not what it appears to be. Okay, so I'm going to do something kind of rare. And something that honestly Star Wars does not deserve. But I will do it because I think it's the right thing to do. And because I still can find a way to shit on them even when I throw them a bone. Because once again, I'm really good at this. So listen, what am I saying? What am I talking about? Guys, this story is actually not true. Okay? They did not release a statement to clarify the trailer. Okay? This statement was likely written up regardless of the reaction of the trailer, was always going to come out. And the reality is, a lot of the aggregators, including whoever this was, said that this statement was made by Ryan to clear up the confusion about the Mandalorian and Grogu Super Bowl ad, but that's actually not really what it was. Okay? But here's the thing. It doesn't matter that I'm going to point this out. It doesn't matter that that's actually the truth of it. Like, none of that matters. Because the story people are running with, the story that's getting all the clicks, the story that's getting all the engagement, and the story that people are believing is that Lucasfilm made a statement to explain the Super Bowl commercial that they spent like $10 million on that everybody hated. Here's the thing. That story exists not just because people want to be bad faith and spread misinformation, okay? That's actually not what it is. I mean, you guys in chat, you guys are terrible. You're horrible. You're fiends. You're gooners. You're fucking rage baiters. You're butts. Nobody, including you hive of scum and villainy chat, nobody is actually out there spreading the narrative that Star Wars fucked up the Super Bowl trailer and then put out a statement to clarify it because they're just trying to hurt Star Wars. 0% of you are doing that. What is happening is Star Wars has earned a reputation of being handled like a nutless monkey would handle something. they have the reputation of being so completely stupid and out of touch and doing all the wrong things that they're basically a lol cow of a brand at this point. Okay? So here's the thing that's crazy. The wider point that I'm trying to make about this is that there's a contingent of folks out there, and maybe even some of you in chat feel this way. There's a contingent of fans that believe that all of the hate that Star Wars receives, including the hate for the Super Bowl trailer, is manufactured, that it's not real, that it's a bunch of trolls on the internet. It's a bunch of people that are completely out of touch, and they have wrong think. Okay? They probably voted for the wrong person too, you know what I mean? Not to get political. But the point I'm making is, those people somehow believe that despite the narrative being what it is, despite all the discourse, despite where Star Wars is at as a brand, they see all of it as somehow invalid. Chat, happen to disagree with that take. I actually think it's the outset, the effect of a cause. That cause is Star Wars being handled by a nutless monkey and being run into the fucking ground. Okay, so guess what? Guess what? We're about to find out. Okay? You can't hide behind your Disney Plus numbers anymore. You can't fudge the Disney Plus numbers anymore. You're about to release this shit on the big screen this summer. And to be honest with you, part of me thinks these motherfuckers might be right. Which would be very depressing, by the way. But part of me thinks, man, what if they're right? What if this movie cruises, fucking hits cruise control and cruises to $600-700 million? Despite being a show going to the big screen. We still don't know a lot about it. We haven't seen a lot about it. Starring a guy that worked on set for 2 weeks. Like the lowest budgeted theatrically released Star Wars movie ever, which is another one. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this. Look at this. Mandalorian Grogu, lowest budget of a Star Wars movie Disney has ever made. Star Wars be like, come watch our streaming show on the big screen, even though we didn't spend that much money on it. So look, if this movie cruises to $600-700 million, maybe even $800 million, then I'll be very depressed in a sense, because I'll be like, wow, nothing in this world makes any fucking sense. And I guess the people that thought it was all just haters on the internet, maybe they have a point. Okay? However, if this movie underperforms, I'm begging those people to shut the fuck up forever about everything. Please shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. If we finally have to put Star Wars out on the stage in front of everybody and see how's this shit doing, and it doesn't do well, then please shut the fuck up forever. Your input does nothing. It does nothing. You're in some kind of weird floaty, like fucking reality. Like, are you even thinking? Like, do you have inner dialogue? Like, I'm real fucking concerned about the state of the world. So, I guess we're gonna find out. To me, this is just my personal take, which might represent the take of a total hater, a troll that's completely out of touch. But my take is that the shit is cooked. My take is that was one of the worst Super Bowl ads ever. My take is that the brand has become a lol cow, and that all the discourse surrounding this movie is mostly negative. And I think that will reveal itself in the box office for the movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. But that's the way I see it. Anyway, what do you guys think about this situation? The statement, the discourse, how bad Star Wars is? Is it totally fucking cooked? Are you going to see this movie in theaters? Are they ever going to show us what's actually in this movie? Show us the big fucking stupid Hut guy with the six-pack that you just show us, John. Like, just fucking rip the Band-Aid off and show us that you did CGI guy from the Bear as Jabba's son with a fucking six-pack for 2 hours. Rip the Band-Aid off and show us this slop. Sorry, I don't even know what's happening. I'm probably having a stroke. Are you guys going to see this thing in theaters? Everything is fine. Absolutely not. It's like we knew this shit was cooked, and fuck no, I'm not seeing this shit. Oh, okay, cool. It's cooked. I'm not going to the theater. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Josh, which do you think is more doomed, Star Wars or DC? Both are in pretty bad shape. Both probably should have their entire fan base leave and go to Warhammer. So I don't know. Okay, I'm just as confused as you are. Why are all these summer blockbusters being so hush-hush? No Spider-Man, barely any Mando. Supergirl just dropped the same trailer twice. Yeah, I mean, look, we're about to talk about AI. Okay, and so I think part of the answer is Hollywood does not know what to do. Hollywood has no idea what to do. That's a part of it, yeah. They have no idea what to do. They can't show you because then you'll know Rey is in it. Oh no, I don't think Rey is in it. No. Yeah. Can't wait for Meathead Hut. I struggle to see how Meathead Hut is gonna be like cool. Like for me, like I'm just struggling a little bit. It's like I am personally just struggling just a little bit. Saving money so it bombs less. Yeah. Well, it's funny. We actually talked about this a little bit on Monday, where I said, these studios are they're in a no-win situation with this budget shit because they need to cut the budgets because they can't make money theatrically anymore. But you can't sell an audience, especially the people that are out there that actually still go see movies, which is like, guys, I don't know what to tell you. A lot less people are going to the movies. But the people of the audience that still goes to the movies, it's going to be really hard to sell those people on like, hey, we made the cheapest one ever. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that doesn't excite people. So they're in sort of a no-lose or a no-win situation with that. Damn. Josh, genuine question that's always a pleasure to ask. Modern movie trailers suck and always give away too much. Maybe the new trend is vague posting and leaving the cool stuff for the actual movie. There could be some truth to that. It's always a balance, right? You have to sell the movie. And the people that sell the movie too, by the way, have a completely different skill set than the people that make the movie. And sometimes Hollywood doesn't understand that. Like, they got a trailer company to cut Suicide Squad, David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Like, the whole reason there's even a Ayer cut of Suicide Squad is that some idiot at Warner Brothers liked the trailer and was like, dude, let's have them cut the whole fucking movie. That shit was awesome, Yeah. JJ Lamont says they're going to tease Luke and we're all going to reluctantly pile in to see it. Oh, man. Okay, so look, here's the thing, JJ. And your question actually just made me think, please don't put Luke Skywalker in this thing. Okay? Because if they do put Luke Skywalker in this thing and it still makes like $200-300 million and loses them hundreds of millions of dollars, then like put it out to pasture. You know what I mean? Like that could be an earth-shattering loss to the hype of this fucking brand, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you actually just kind of fucked me up with that question, because now I'm in the mindset of like, dude, don't do it. Oh, man. Oh, fuck, man. Shit, guys. Woo. Woo. This shit might be cooked. Okay. Let me take a sip of this iced coffee and let's talk about how AI has probably already destroyed the world. We haven't realized it. But it's over. So I don't know if any of you had this feeling last night, but you know, in that scene in Loki where Kang is sitting there and then we go past the threshold and for the first time ever, he's like, oh shit, like I have no idea what's going to happen. Like something's different. I had that feeling last night. I literally had that feeling last night. It just shook me. I don't know what happened. I was like, oh damn, we've just crossed some kind of Rubicon. We've just tipped over into another reality. We're in a different timeline. What the fuck just happened? And I think it actually was that AI it has evolved and we're done. It's over. We're cooked. AI took over. And I'm actually serious. And I want to break it down. And on the one hand, it's like an entertainment story, but on the other hand, it's like a human story. And we all just might be like totally cooked and we're done for and it's over. So we might as well at least be able to talk about it a little bit before it all goes down. But if you missed this happening yesterday, not just one, but several different engineers that work at big AI companies in on the safety side of things have all retired. And in fact, there was one that was really high profile that retired and also basically said, there's nothing we can do. And I'm going to go write poetry now. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm like actually serious. And so, yeah, kind of concerning. And this kind of comes on the heels too. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there've been a lot of instances of AI doing things that are super problematic to the point that they'll like blackmail employees of companies. One was even close to trying to kill somebody in order to not get shut off, and things of that nature. To me, as somebody that actually like uses AI and works on AI, I've been very skeptic of the dooming in AI, frankly, because the models and a lot of the models that I work on like publicly are actually like really stupid. And I'm like, this shit is so dumb. I was like, there's no way this stuff is actually going to evolve to a place that it gets really scary and potentially takes over and, does stuff like that. And kind of quietly, without much explanation for why, current generation models have kind of started doing things that have made people that are in charge of trying to make them safe give up. Literally give up. And that is fucking crazy. And then the other thing that happened, and this happened over the last couple of days, Speed Dance 2.0. I'm sure some of you have seen some of these videos online. I don't know. Did you guys see the Speed Dance 2.0 videos? They're weirdly good. Like, AI to me has very often just felt just like total slop, completely uncanny, like really ridiculous. I can't fucks with it like at all. And I've pretty consistently felt like that's what was going on. And then China just revealed this model over the last couple of days that is like when I tell you that professionals in entertainment are looking at this shit and being like, oh my God, my worst fears are basically true. That's what's happening. This shit is absurd. And this is only like the second generation of this model. And it's better than basically anything we've seen in a way that like does kind of defy what I thought was possible. Again, I actually work with this technology, and literally till like 5 days ago, I was like, it is literally all bullshit. It's all terrible. It's not intelligent. And then basically 5 days later, the tech has eclipsed what I thought was possible. And also worldwide, many people are leaving AI companies and saying that we are kind of cooked. Now, there's good and bad news here. I think the bad news, of course, is that it might be Terminator and we're all done for, because these models really don't give a fuck about us. I don't think AI gives a fuck about humanity. I think we really fucked that up. Okay. But on the flip side, if they allow us to live, or if we figure out some scenario where they don't actually fully take over, we will be able to create with AI. And I know some of you guys are like, AI is bad. I hate AI or whatever. We will be able to basically create fucking anything. And I do think it'll fundamentally change how we approach content and video form, maybe video game form and all that sort of stuff. And I just really think I have had to recalibrate how I've been thinking about all of this, because I really was on the thought process of like, nah, this shit ain't it. It's all overbloated. It's a bubble. It sucks ass. Yeah. So anyway, that's the basics of AI and why we're all done for and why the tech is absolutely insane. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Chat, let's talk a little bit about AI. Let's talk about it as a community. What do you guys think? Underwear Taker says with a $10 holla. Josh, I love you, but you're wrong about the theater. The culture is shifting back. Every metric shows a gradual increase since COVID dip. Big rise this year already. I'll wager you $100. 2026 is the biggest year since 2019. Yeah, I'm not going to take that bet. And part of why is because the whole concept is a fugazi. When you factor in inflation, and you factor in the market share of the attention economy, and you look at how like YouTube just passed $60 billion in revenue, outpacing Netflix, who's the Coca-Cola of streaming and maybe the most profitable entertainment company on the planet, I think the trends are very clearly showing that theatrical is going away. I personally am impressed at theatrical's ability to hold on to its aging and changing audience insofar as it has been able to do that. I just think that means propaganda is really strong. But even if 2026 is the biggest year since 2019, I bet you I could look at the numbers and paint a very different picture. I bet with certain context, I could still show you why theatrical is failing, and not only failing, but it's like doomed. Like doomed. But maybe you're just AI that wrote that. Miss my super, the last topic. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can get up here. Griff says, since Shadow Warrior, Ahsoka Episode 5, was somewhat successful in theaters, they probably thought Mando would cook Nerve Enders for life. No nut roll for Josh. I did not get my nut roll, and I'm pretty upset about it. I don't really understand. So, look, Star Wars should be able to do good in theaters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Star Wars should be able to do good in theaters. I think Star Wars should be able to do good in theaters, even with its shows, if it were operating in the way that Star Wars used to as a brand, right? But what I'm suggesting is the brand itself has had so much damage and has really fallen off to the degree that, like, we're going to see that reflected in the box office. That's my point. Jason Momoa has been cast in the Helldivers movie. That is cool. Justin Lin directing. Damn, that is cool. Yeah. I graduated a CS degree and been applying for data jobs. Can't find anything. AI is definitely impacting us. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is kind of what I'm saying, though. It's like AI, frankly, has not lived up to the hype or the fear. There's been a lot of hype, and I mean like actual hype. Like a lot of our economy is based on trading in futures and speculation, and there's been so much hype around AI that it has literally funneled and created like actual value in the stock market. And that has been, I think, mostly bullshit. And I think the fear has been bullshit too. A lot of the fear, the people are afraid of AI taking all the jobs, doing this, that, second, and the third. I think a lot of that fear is mistaken. It certainly wasn't based off of like what I was seeing in the models. Just the other week, man, we had Ben Affleck on and Matt Damon on Rogan, right? And Ben said some really interesting things about AI and it being a bubble. One of the things he said was that the latest model from ChatGPT cost 4 times the energy to run and is only 25% of an improvement over the last model. Now, what that means, like that's actually like a really key thing. That's like, oh shit, we're fucked. This tech isn't as good as people thought. We're just running off of pure hype and speculation. But something changed. Like that quickly from just 2 weeks ago when Affleck was actually accurate about saying that. When I was literally looking at this stuff like, nah, man, like it's not really what people think it is. The fear is not real, or the fear is not based on reality. The hype is not based on reality. All of a sudden, we're looking at something like within 2 days, it's starting to look like, oh, wow, this actually could be an existential threat. Oh, this actually could change every facet of society way faster than we thought. And that is wild. Like, that is wild. Mando Season 4 and Momoa Disney Plus series. Iger said, make them a movie and release them in theaters. That does appear to be the case. There's some reports that back that up, Chris. And yeah, I mean, I'd probably argue that if you just ask me what's the smart money on that, I'd say, yeah, probably the case that Iger influenced both decisions heavily. Yeah. How is AI not more efficient? You know, this is actually one of the great mysteries of AI, and it speaks to the brilliance of whatever human evolution or however we became what we are. There's some kind of genius there because, like, so the human mind and the human brain can calculate things very, very quickly. It's really, really fast. But AI can be very, very fast. AI can calculate a lot very, very quickly. The main thing that a brain has, a human brain, that AI does not have is the efficiency. So the amount of computing that a human brain does compared to the calories it burns is like orders of magnitude away from the level of efficiency that a data center has. So you've heard all of these stories about data centers and how they're jacking up electricity costs and how like the cost to power these AI things or even the RAM, it's like all these resources are getting squeezed in the pipeline because of all of this demand of the computing power. Well, that's the reason that's happening is because it's still really inefficient. Somehow, some way, probably through evolution and probably through millions of years of evolution, we became incredibly efficient at using calories to power the brain to have thought. And AI has never had that. AI has never had those constraints. And it doesn't actually function the same way that any organic life does. So it would never have a push even out of a certain unhomeostatic scenario into a more homeostatic scenario, which is at least one of the things we think drives forces that control evolution. That's probably like really weird. Did any of that make sense? Did any of that make sense, chat? But that is actually a great mystery. Why is the human mind so efficient as compared to anything we see in the physical world with computing and thermodynamics and all of that sort of stuff? Yeah. Gooning uses up energies? Yeah, of course. Everything you do. Even if you just woke up in bed and said, I'm just going to sit here in bed. I'm going to try not to think about basically anything, which I think is a choice most of you make in chat anyway, by the way. But let's say you actually made that choice and just literally try to do as little as possible, think as little as possible, and do nothing. You're still burning calories. Yeah. Yeah, pretty wild, huh? All right, AI's taking over. We're totally fucked. It's all over and bad. Unless we can make 17 sequels to Secret Wars in 5 minutes using Speed Dance 2, and maybe it's actually cool. I mean, what if it's actually cool? What if this shit's awesome? You know what I've been thinking about? And I really do... I actually think this would be badass, guys. And I know some of you guys would be so mad about this and would be like, oh, I hate it. But I've been thinking a lot about that. All right, one more. I gotta say some more crazy shit. Just give me a couple minutes here. This is fucking outlandish, bro. This is so egotistical of me to say. Oh my God, the fucking audacity of what I'm about to say, but I'm right. If we could right now, chat, say to ourselves, hey, based on everything we know about the Sentry and the current version of the Hulk, what if we actually pitted these two characters together in some kind of a tournament? How would it actually go? And then we make the argument. Some of you in chat are like, dude, Sentry's got it. Some of you in chat are like, dude, it doesn't matter that it's Smart Hulk. Sentry doesn't even know how to use his powers. You know what I mean? Sentry's going to get shit on. Hulk's going to take him out and all that, right? Then what if we could make our bets? We could talk about it, and then we could literally watch it. And we could say to the AI or whatever, be like, yo, run this shit best out of 5. Death match, normal parameters, like show us what would actually happen, and we like just literally watch it. Okay. There could be a scenario here where we've talked about maybe Batman versus somebody like a Black Panther or something like that. And we could say, okay, well, here's the parameters. Here's what we want to do, this, that, second, and third. And we could actually like run it and watch it and experience it together. Okay. What if we had some kind of crazy theory in the MCU or of like a certain thing that was going to happen, and we were like, show us what that could look like, and then we actually watch it, you know? Or maybe it's like, okay, how would Iron Man fare if he got dropped off in the Warhammer universe? Or how would the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fare if they had to fight against Mario and Kirby? And we watch all that sort of stuff. So I 100% believe in my heart of hearts that myself and you would have a lot more fun than we are currently having following the leaks and the rumors and the movies and the shows of all of these different franchises. I'm telling you right now, I think we would literally have more fun as a community. We would be more entertained. We would be more fulfilled. We would be more engaged if we had full control of all the fun shit we did. Like I believe that in my heart of hearts. And to take it one step further, and this is like, maybe I'm being crazy here, maybe I'm being egotistical, I would actually argue that most of the value that fans of Marvel have experienced with the Marvel brand has actually come by YouTubers, streamers, maybe TikTokers, or whatever. What I'm telling you is, and really hear me out on this, actually think about it. You watch a 2-hour Marvel movie. How many hours of Marvel content did you watch about that movie, or to enhance your experience of that movie? Or really, don't think about it like that. Think about it more in just actual expenditure of your time and energy. How much of your own personal time and energy did you spend outside of the official given channel, the officially produced content by any one of these studios? Okay? So what I'm suggesting to you is that there's already a turning. There's already a different way that people are extracting value. And AI is going to take that 1,000% forward. Like we will not need Hollywood anymore. You will not need official writers anymore. Like, I'm serious. And I know that probably seems so wild, man. Like, what? I'm telling you, you cannot fight against human nature, and there's no way to win a battle against more enjoyed by your consumer. Okay? That's 10 years from now. That could literally be by the end of this year. That's not 10 years from now. That's like, to be honest with you, there's actually a lot of time, energy, and resources being spent by companies like Disney to prevent that. One of the reasons Speed Dance 2.0 is so much better than all the American models is that American models are trying to gatekeep for the corporations. They're trying to protect against like a Napster type situation. They're trying to play nice with all the institutional power. And China doesn't give a fuck. That's why the Chinese model looks so fucking good. Well, what happens when it's like, oh, wait, well, now we have to compete against that. So I guess we have to just allow the use of all this copyright stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how it all goes down. But yeah, we're totally fucked, man. It's over. But maybe it's not over, and we'll have fun. Woo! We're doing it, chat. We're doing it. We are doing it. Josh, please read AI 2027. Is that big paper that's going viral on all the blah, blah, blahs? My prompt box will be Josh vs. Campia AI battle, and the arena will be on top of Kevin Feige's hat. Okay, but let me take it to the next fucking level, okay? We run it like a Dungeons and Dragons style RPG. There is a final battle. The Den of Nerds versus the John Campia Show. And we will need weapons, relics, spells, dragons, zombies, and all kinds of cool shit. And so what we're going to do is live stream, and it'll be like Critical Role, except it's 100% digital world, instantly rendered, and we're going into some world where there are Marvel things, Star Wars things, Dragon Ball Z things, all sorts of things. And I'll pick my weapons. We'll go quest and find some cool stuff. John will pick his weapons, and then we'll fight. That sounds fun. I think we'd have a lot of fun. Super Saiyan or the Force, Josh? Dude, Super Saiyan, are you kidding me? I think a Super Saiyan would shit all over Jedi. Yeah. Like the X-Men training room. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It'd be like a fight scene from Anchorman. Yeah, exactly. It'd be super fun. All right, you guys ready to talk about actually X-Men stuff that's cool? Should we actually talk about some cool-ass X-Men stuff? Or should we just talk Warhammer, chat? You tell me. Dope-ass X-Men stuff? Or the Warhammer? Dope-ass X-Men stuff? Yeah, Ready Player One, exactly, yeah. Who gets the trident? That's a good question. That's a good question. Warhammer? Oh, okay, Warhammer time. All right, yeah, we can get in some Warhammer time, man. Hell yeah, it's Warhammer time, baby. Yo, this infrared heater is actually a little hot. Turn that shit down a little bit. I'm burning up. X-Men, please. I want to stay here longer. Jesus Christ. Kaylin says, I dare everyone in chat to go watch the first AI-produced films in theaters. Watch the doors lock behind you, and now you're a prisoner forever. Brother, I don't even know what that means. Theaters are dying. We're not going to watch the AI movie in theaters. Like, theaters are dying. Who the fuck wants to drive to a separate location, pay all this overpriced shit, watch all this stupid-ass Hollywood slop that's full of fucking ads? Theaters are over, dude. Fuck the movie theater. Honestly, fuck movies, dude. Movies are so lame compared to the experiences that we're going to have in the future, unless the AI destroys us all. Okay, anyways, I do actually, yeah, that shows you that it's bad. The fact that you're into it. Yeah, the fact that you're into it. Hey, chat, everybody, y'all like movies? Do you like going to the movie theater? Let us know in chat. How much do y'all like movies? You like it? You like going to the movies? Let everybody know. Tell everybody in chat. Let them know. Let them know how much you like the movies. And then chat. Take a second to remember how stupid chat is. As soon as you see all of these people in chat saying that they love the movies, consider how stupid chat is, and then understand that the movie theaters is over. Okay. So you're saying fuck a Warhammer movie? Dude, I'll be there opening day in the theater for Warhammer. Let's go. All right. Man, we got to talk about the X-Men. Dude, this is pretty crazy. So the new leaks about the X-Men are very dark, and they answer some questions that we had about what exactly was going on in this movie. Oh, man, I'm starting to get excited. Now, chat, in some ways we called this shit. In some ways we called this shit, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So let's get into this. The main thing, it was my time to shine. Terrible ass poopy butthole person. Don't give her any money, but definitely talk about her stuff. Hello. She said a couple of different crazy things. So one of the things she said was there's going to be the most epic fight in the film and maybe ever in the MCU will be Doctor Doom versus Magneto. Okay, now that's the first thing. That's pretty crazy. By the way, this fight has been rumored. We've heard a lot about this Magneto versus Doctor Doom fight over the course of a year. Apparently, they're making it even better, dude. They're making it even better. How do we know they're making it even better? Well, recently, these pooper scoopers have been talking about how they're amping up the action. They're taking the action to the next level. They had incredible action already. A lot of the reshoots apparently are now getting the action even better. That's why Magneto said, or Ian McKellen recently said, I destroyed New Jersey the other day. And then he clarified that he's like on a green screen thing. And the directors are like, look more menacing, look more mad, say something. What should I say? And all that. It all lines up to say that McKellen was there shooting a scene where they destroyed New Jersey, more of the action scenes. They're cleaning them up. They're making them way better. So that's number one, is like, dude, this Doctor Doom Magneto fight's going to be fucking epic. And I could not be happier. That is absolutely incredible. But there's more. The X-Men in Avengers Doomsday have survived countless incursions. What? Countless? That means you can't count them all. Each one nearly wiping out their universe. They're exhausted, broken, and have sacrificed everything. And I'm going to sneeze. It's literally so crazy it made me sneeze. Every incursion forces them to send their members, what? Is that what Campy was talking about? To another Earth to battle its defenders and erase that universe from existence before it destroys theirs. Holy shit. My God, chat. This actually is crazy. This means a lot. It answers a lot of questions we had, but it also brings up a lot more questions. So let's just break it all the fuck down, okay? Oh, this is good shit. Okay. They have survived countless incursions. Countless incursions? So, we were asking ourselves, how many incursions have they survived? How many worlds have they destroyed? This X-Men universe. How many worlds have they destroyed, guys? And the reason that matters is because when you look at this X-Men universe, and all we've seen of it so far is Monica Rambeau goes there, wakes up, her mom's there, Maria, as binary with both of the Bengals, And there's Beast. Kelsey Grammer is Beast. And Charles wants to see her. Beast says something about how she's from a different universe, which is, of course, impossible. But there's like a pretext. There's like this kind of subtle understanding that they know what's going on. And when I watched that scene, I was like, wait a minute. So they know she's from a different universe. They have her mom there. She has both bangles. She's known as binary. What's the deal there? Well, how many of these universes have they been destroying exactly? We've been seeing incursions happen for a long-ass time in the MCU. Have they been destroying worlds that entire time? And according to Shine, not only have they, but they have been destroying countless universes. Now, within this, she confirms something else that's really cool. She confirms that the incursions are going to work the way they did in the comic books. Now, for now, we have never seen that. In the MCU, we have never seen that before. But apparently, they will actually work the way they did in Jonathan Hickman's comic books. Okay, so that's right here where she says they fight these other heroes. She says every incursion forces them to send their members to another Earth to battle its defenders and erase that universe from existence before it destroys their own. What that means is the incursions are going to start operating as two universes colliding, and the collision point will be Earth. And if one of the Earths is destroyed, it saves the other Earth. That's what we're hearing here. Now, in the comics, it was a little bit different than that. It was that if one of the universes is destroyed, both universes remain. Okay? But it says here that they erase the universe from existence before it destroys theirs. So, I didn't actually see this coming. That's even crazier than the Hickman thing. Because think about it. The Hickman thing was the heroes and the different characters trying to grapple with killing billions of lives to save trillions. But still, in a utilitarian sense, that makes sense. This is even darker. This means it's us or them. This means trillions of lives versus trillions of lives. So, if the X-Men of that universe, and it's interesting that they say X-Men and their members, and they send them in. That explains the Toby thing, okay? And look, I just got to tell you the Toby thing. I feel like I feel like I've been harping on Alex Perez a little bit, but that's only because I think he's kind of lying about some shit. And it's not that he's not like coming out and actually, I gotta be honest, I don't know. I don't really know what the thought process is from Alex. I think that he's frustrated about that Gary from Nerderotic is saying something. He doesn't like Gary or whatever. But recall that Alex said that the rumor of Toby fighting against the X-Men and his universe being destroyed was not true. Remember? Alex was like, no. But guys, it really seems like Alex said no for some fucking weirdo reason. Like, it could be the case that it's not just the X-Men that come into that other universe, and it's the Great Society, and maybe it's Maria Rambeau is binary, so technically it's not the X-Men versus Toby and Doc Ock. Doc Ock might not actually be fighting alongside Toby. Maybe he dies very early on. He's trying to warn Toby, so technically it's not Doc Ock versus the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it really seems like that was just some weird, I'm trying to be pedantic and technically say no, but I'm really just trying to throw you off. I'm really just trying to hide the truth. And I'm really just trying to not give credit to these other people is what it looks like. And that just doesn't seem right. Especially, like, just take the politics out of it. I know people don't like Gary. Brother, I don't give a shit. I want to know what's going on in this fucking movie, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how absurd do you have to be like, well, this came from this guy that I don't like, so I'm going to try to throw people off and act like that guy doesn't know what he's talking about? Like, that just seems so weird. So anyway, point is this. This really does seem to corroborate the report from Gary, the report at the beginning of the movie, which John Campea has sort of hinted at. It's starting to corroborate all that shit. These X-Men destroy Toby's universe. That's what it seems like. Does Toby die? I don't know. Technically, he could maybe die. And then there's a variant of him that we see later on. Technically, he's about to die and he gets taken by the TVA or something like that. Could be that way around. I don't know. I don't know what Alex was referring to when he said no without any clarification whatsoever. But what I do know is that a lot of the evidence, particularly the evidence that's now in these reports, is starting to make it seem like, yeah, man, that universe is going to be destroyed. Remember on Monday, some of y'all asked me, you were like, wait, why would he even need to fight against Toby? I don't understand it. Why would he need to fight against Toby to destroy the universe? Well, this is probably where Doc Ock comes in, by the way. The reality is, if it's actually an incursion, and if there's any single person on a planet, and you're talking about a planet of 8 billion people, if there's any person on a planet that understands what the fuck is happening in the incursion and might see that the X-Men are coming in and they're going to destroy this universe, we have to fight against these people and we have to destroy that universe, or at the very least, not let these people in here because they're about to destroy our universe. Then people will know, and the heroes of that world will show up, the defenders. That's what it says here. Every incursion forces them to send their members to another Earth to battle its defenders and erase that universe from existence before it destroys itself. It makes total sense. They come into Toby's universe. I bet because of the experiences these characters had in No Way Home, Doc Ock, being a brilliant scientist, and maybe he's alive somehow and he's not supposed to be alive somehow, if he is there, he is likely the person that is going to tell Toby what is going on. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's his entire function of the scene, is just to explain what's going on. You have to stop them. They're going to destroy our whole world or something, right? And then it goes on. But the other part of this that's wild is if they have destroyed countless universes, then, brother, these are not good X-Men. Like, even if they are good X-Men and we want to root for them, there is just no way that they are good X-Men. They have killed trillions upon trillions upon trillions of lives. Trillions, dude. For all intents and purposes, the X-Men are Rabam al-Lal. Like, we don't know exactly how this is all going to fit together. But if this is true, then these guys are Rabam al-Lal. These guys are the Great Destroyer. And that is just a little bit different. That is a little bit different. They're exhausted, broken, and have sacrificed everything. Holy shit. Like, that's going to be really, really cool to see. And I would imagine we're going to see desperation on the other side of this as well. The desperation of the Avengers, the desperation of Steve, the desperation of Doom, the desperation of all of these guys. Yeah, it's all really, really crazy. But the other thing that I just can't shake, right? The other thing I just can't get out of my head is the idea of manipulation, right? So Doom is said to be manipulating everybody in the film, okay? And I actually have a big video that I'm working on that's going to come out soon where I kind of like explain everything I now think is happening in Doomsday due to all the new leaks and all the new stuff, okay? But here's just one more little thing that I think can give us some context here and help us to understand. So we know there's going to be a Magneto versus Doctor Doom fight, okay? Gary from Nerderotic said that the Sentinels would be working for the X-Men. But Daniel RPK said over a year ago that Doctor Doom would control the Sentinels in the big fight. I think both are probably correct. And it is probably the case that at some point in the film, likely during some big epic battle on the X-Men universe, Doom will flip, use his powers, and actually turn the Sentinels and start to control them, despite them being used by the X-Men to help destroy other planets and shit like that, which I think will be awesome, and that's probably a part of this epic fight that they're talking about, right? But I do then wonder if he's manipulating everybody, is it possible that Doom is the person that set these X-Men on that path? Because there's this weird connection to, like, maybe Scarlet Witch. I don't know. I really can't shake this feeling. And despite everything that's going on with, like, a Magneto versus a Doom fight, right? I still think it's possible that Magneto could have been working for Doom, and at some point he flips. And at some point he does fight against Doom, realizes what is going on and all of that sort of stuff. Now, that's really, really crazy and nerdy and speculative. I am not sure how that's all going to work together. But I really do think this is fucking cool, man. This really sets the table for some shocking stuff. And also, too, countless universes. Well, I do wonder, are we ever going to get some kind of a flashback, or like maybe they read the mind of the X-Men and they see all the other universes? Maybe Xavier reveals something to Sentry, reveals something to the others. Maybe Doctor Doom has like footage of them destroying other universes. Like, are we going to see these X-Men taking out the other Fantastic Four universes? Are they taking out Ghost Rider universes? Are they taking out Blade universes? Like, dude, I would love to see as much of that as possible. Pretty wild. Pretty freaking wild. So, chat, with all of that said and with all of that in mind, what are your thoughts, man? Like, what do you guys think of this? How do you think this is going to play out? Who do you think's manipulating who? Countless universes. The X-Men are the bad guys? It's crazy. What if Doom doesn't know he looks like Tony until they encounter each other? Only him knowing, because he'll have the mask on. Yeah, I've got some thoughts. I've got some thoughts on that, man. I've got some thoughts on that. I don't know if I want to reveal them just yet, though. Alex can't admit that Gary was right. How soft. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand not liking Gary. You know what I mean? Like, I think Gary probably understands, like, he's somewhat of a controversial figure, right? And he's, like, gone into the culture war stuff. He's been very abrasive and inflammatory and all that sort of stuff. But if you're a scooper, if your job, or at least your space, your place in the community is based off of trying to, like, set people on the right track, and then you get all weird and manipulative just because you don't like that some other person is out there doing the thing that you normally do, and then you hide the truth purposely, then, like, dude, like, that's just a really bad thing. It just means that you're basically always capable of falling short of how you should do your job because of perceived slights or perceived crimes or wrong think or whatever. It means you do not have principles. You know what I mean? And so therefore, a lot of what you say now has to be put under a microscope. We now have to consider the fact that you are willing to literally do the opposite of what you normally do just to hurt someone else. Holy shit. Like, that's pretty wild to me, you know? But also probably par for the course. A lot of people are like that. So the X-Men from the Utopia will be going to dying universes and killing the remaining heroes that are left, while the TVA also tries to save them and bring them to Loki. Well, the second part, I don't know what you're talking about with the second part of that. The X-Men from the Utopia, yes, that is true, will be going around to dying universes and killing the remaining heroes that are left? No. How is that what you think is going on? Is that really what you think I said? No. Where's that coming from? What are you talking about, Kalen? I've never heard that in my life. What? That doesn't make any sense. I literally don't know what you're talking about there, bud. No. Please tell. I must know. Well, I'm certainly going to reveal more and more. I've got a lot of content I'm cooking, etc., etc. Which, by the way, on Friday this week, guys, we're deep diving on Iron Man. We're going to watch Iron Man together Friday. So if you're a member, it'll probably drop like 11 or noon or whatever, regular time. And we're going to get into it, man. We are going to deep dive on Iron Man 1 looking for all the Doctor Doom shit. Doctor Doom shows up in that movie like 30 different times. There's like all these characters in the background. That's Doctor Doom. That's Doctor Doom. That's Doctor Doom. That's Doctor Doom. And also technically the guy that the whole movie's about, he's Doctor Doom too. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting. We'll go over that on Friday. Did you figure out how to do it without risking a strike? I think so, yeah. We're probably just going to not have the audio one. I'm going to scroll a little bit more. I'm going to have more to say rather than just react to the movie the whole time, because I'm watching the movie beforehand and I'll come up with like a bunch of cool notes. So we'll basically just kind of go from scene to scene. Maybe we'll play a little bit of a scene here and there, but we can't really play stuff. Can we get a Warhammer segment? What would you like the Warhammer segment to be about? What if the Sentinels are the defenders they get to send to Doom's world, and that's how he controls them? Sentinels are the defenders. They get sent to Doom's world. What if the Sentinels are the defenders? I don't think I understand what you're saying. Will Steve Rogers wear his Captain America suit in Avengers Doomsday? Because you said that both Steve Rogers and Tony Stark will wear their first Avengers suit. Yeah, I don't think I can speak too much about that yet. Hopefully more stuff comes out and I can speak a little more about that. But yes, I still believe what I believe about that, yeah. What if the Sentinels are the... Yeah, I still don't understand what you mean by that, brother. Are the X-Men using the Sentinels to destroy worlds? It appears so, yes. We're not 100% on that, but it does appear that's the case, yeah. All right, I have to ban this person. I've answered your question. You're spamming in here. I don't know what's going on, but you're banned forever. Sorry, bud. Sorry, bud, you're gone forever. You think Spawn will ever come out? I don't think it can live up to the hype. Spawn's really cool, man. I hope it does come out, and I hope they cook. But I don't really know. If Doom can control Professor X and Jean and Sentinels, then he should have already achieved all of his plans. Yeah, that's fair, yeah. Does not even need those dawns. Yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah. Tell us about Valdor? Oh, shit! You want to know about Valdor? Oh, damn, chat. This guy wants to know about Constantine Valdor. Let me tell you something crazy about Valdor, okay? Tell you something crazy about Valdor. So, Valdor, oh my God. All right, let me finish this thing with Kaylin here, and then we'll get into some Valdor stuff. My time of time said the X-Men in Doomsday send their members to another... Brother, I'm sorry, man. I got to question your reading comprehension here. So because this is not the first time this has happened. She said in X-Men, they send their members to another Earth to battle its defenders and then erase that universe from existence before it destroys theirs. That's what you meant? Brother, what? How did you read that and come up with what you said before? I am having a lot of trouble understanding how you read that and then said they'd, quote, go to a dying universe and kill the remaining heroes that are left? No! If there's nothing else left, what the fuck are they defending? They're not defenders. Brother, my friend. Thought you basically said the same thing. Yeah, you thought wrong, my guy. You thought wrong. Yeah. All right, let's just drop that one. Let's just drop that. Let's talk about Valdor. Let's talk about good things. So let me tell you a little bit about Valdor. So here's the thing that I think a lot of Warhammer fans are not even understanding about Valdor, because Valdor actually is about to change Warhammer lore in a very significant way. There is a book, one book right now in the Warhammer library that is currently delayed. Okay, it's currently delayed. And the reason it is delayed is because it is going to profoundly change the setting of Warhammer. It's like a big deal, like a really, really big deal. And it's been delayed. And it's because of Valdor. It's all about Valdor, okay? Valdor right now has been revealed to be a character known as the King in Yellow. This is a very powerful, mysterious character that is potentially one of the most powerful characters in the setting. But here's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing about Valdor. During the Horus Heresy, Valdor is given a spear, a special weapon called the Apollonian Spear. This spear, when he cuts an opponent or when he stabs an opponent, he sees, actually technically he could do it to himself or the Emperor maybe, but whenever he wounds somebody with this spear, he sees a truth about their actual, like what they did in their life or what they're going to do in their life. Like he sees some kind of truth of the person that he is killing. Now, the Apollonian Spear. I know, monkey giraffe. It's not the same thing, but yes, it's like an apple spear, but it's the Apollonian Spear. Okay. One of the things that people don't realize is that while the Horus Heresy is going on, Constantine Valdor is killing demons. He's slaughtering demons. Like there's at one point they're fighting in the webway for like 7 years, slaughtering demons. It gets to the point that when he fights Abaddon, at like in the end of the Death Part 3, when he's about to fight Abaddon, he can sense the warp. Okay? Which is like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. And a custodian certainly would not be able to do that. Okay? So what's happening is, as he's literally killing demons, he is starting to learn things about chaos, how possession works, what the undying actually are, and he's actually gaining not just abilities, but the perception of the warp. So like there's this moment where he kind of has like a spider sense for chaos. Okay? Now, fast forward 10,000 years later, after he's been doing this, he has all kinds of knowledge about the warp and about demons, about grails and other entities within the warp. And he's studying Enuncia. Enuncia is like a language of spells and magic that is so dangerous that if you study Enuncia at all, I think you're basically considered a heretic. It is a part of why Eisenhorn is considered heretical, because he starts to learn some Enuncia himself, right? So, in the current setting, like the next time we actually see Valdor in the books, he might be some kind of fucking wizard that has insane knowledge of the warp, of warp entities, and with the powers of Enuncia, he may actually be like more powerful than any character we've ever seen in the setting. So Valdor, his whole lore, everything about him is so cool. But I'm really interested in, what is he like now? What is he like now? How powerful is he right now? What is he doing in the warp? He's not in the warp. But the reason he has such knowledge of the warp, and look, we don't know for sure, because the other thing that's weird is the Emperor had a vision that Valdor was going to be very important for the future of humanity. The Emperor risks almost the whole crusade and the future of humanity on Terra to go find Valdor, right? So Valdor has this like grand purpose that we don't fully understand. But what is he doing? We think it has to do with souls in the warp, and potentially a part of the Star Child prophecy, which would be taking a part of the Emperor's soul, probably the good part of his soul that he sort of peels off and throws into the warp before he goes to fight Horus. Maybe grabbing up that soul and putting it in a new body. That's part of it. Frastrodamus, I don't think so. But maybe, I guess. I don't know. The King in Yellow is known by many different words and names, and people really don't like him. And then the Cognate itself is really interesting in how people view the Cognate and things of that nature. So I don't know. Yeah, man. Do you know what period Henry Cavill's show will cover on Amazon? No, we don't know for sure. I tend to believe it'll be The Scouring. which is basically like right as the Emperor's put on the Golden Throne. Like the Emperor is put on the Golden Throne. Yeah. My speculation is that Valdor has knowledge of the deep warp. Yeah, he knows a lot about the warp. Yeah. He might even now know what the Primarchs actually are, which is kind of wild. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for that. We'll see. I hope it's satisfying. I hope it's really cool. There's been a lot of hype for it and a lot of mystery because of that book being delayed and with the Cavill show, because apparently the show plays a role into why that book was delayed, which we're still not clear of on, you know. Is Valdor the character that Cavill will be playing? I think so, yes. King in Yellow is from Lovecraft? Yes. There's a character in Lovecraft. I think that character shows up in a lot of Lovecraftian stories. And I actually don't know if it comes originally from Lovecraft. I think it was a play in a Lovecraftian story that was never actually revealed. And then I think somebody else revealed what the King in Yellow play was actually about. But I could be mixing that up. Then that's when the Emperor's body is cooked and can't leave the throne. Yes, exactly. So basically, big civil war, things are really bad. The Emperor wins, the traitors lose, but the Emperor's wounded and he has to go on the Golden Throne. Now, at first, a lot of people are like, oh, he'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be out a couple of weeks and then he'll be, you know, we'll put some ice on it and he'll be right back to business. So there's like this weird time period where people aren't exactly sure what is going on. But it ends up being the case that he's stuck on the throne for at least 10,000 years. Did you watch the Elsa Bloodstone trailer for Marvel Rivals? Not really, man. I'm not really into Elsa Bloodstone. I actually did get back on Marvel Rivals recently, but I haven't really done like a good session on it. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in what's going on with the old Marvel Rivals, man, you know? Yeah, should be good. Oh my God, that's all. I forgot to stop recording. This is still the X-Men segment. Get the fuck out of here. What? Unless that Warhammer segment was actually a half hour long, which I don't think it was. Imagine Denis Villeneuve directing a Warhammer movie. Yeah, he'd be good for sure. The Golden Throne is what I call my toilet after a plate of hot wings. Oh, okay. Wow. There you go. What is the name of the book getting delayed? I think it's called Pandemonium. Pretty sure. Just reached level 75, and I think all the quests and arc raiders the other day, just looking for the remaining blueprints. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, I've been playing a little arc raiders here and there. Little arc raiders here and there, you know. Josh, did you see Snyder and Roca on the Hot Mic podcast say they don't know about the Secret War split into two, but Jeff thinks a solo Doom movie might happen? Yeah, I do think some of you guys brought that up. I don't think that's what it is, but I guess technically that could be correct. I sort of wonder, are they hearing that maybe it's being split so that there's more of the backstory of Doom actually explored, and then Jeff is just speculating that that means it'll be a Doctor Doom solo movie? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Solo Doctor Doom movie might cook. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like we're going to need some solo Doctor Doom story either way. And Doomsday itself doesn't seem to be very... I mean, I don't know. From everything we've heard, I don't know how much of the actual backstory for Doom will be explored in that film. I would imagine he's going to at least tell people what's going on. But are we going to see it? Is it even real? Because he might be lying to everybody. I don't know, man. I don't know, Chad. I don't know what to tell you, but I do know that we got through all of our topics today, and that's going to do it for the show. Appreciate y'all for being here. Hey, we will be back at it tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do, and I am cooking up some spicy, juicy videos for you guys as well. Clips will drop And then Friday, we will be doing the deep dive on Iron Man, and we'll be doing it together. Only if you're a member, though. So if you're a member, come on by on Friday. I'll see you there. We did it. Do you feel the MCU is doing a disservice by the 616 comic universe considering their 616 main universe movie? Me personally thinks they should have left 616 in the comics. Dawn, I don't have any strong feelings about that one way or the other, dude. I understand what you're saying. I think it's a little low on the totem pole. Like, I don't know that matters that much. But all good, brother. All good. Appreciate the question either way. Unless Secret Wars is going to be named Doom Wars. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Bring back the one-shot from the MCU. Yeah, those one-shots were kind of cool. Yeah, they weren't bad. Yeah. I want that canceled Howley Doom movie. Yeah, no Howley. That would be great. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that. But maybe they get him to do something else in the MCU. That would be cool, dude. He's a real talented guy. Real talented guy. Yeah. But if it's 2 parts, then the final scene of part 1 should be Damson Idris Black Panther discovering the Infinity Gauntlet after Doom kills Steve. That seems like a cool endpoint. Yeah, we'll see. Josh, make sure you rent out a theater for Doomsday for us. We have not said that we're going to do that. We're going to do that for Secret Wars. I'll do it for both parts of Secret Wars, but I don't know that we're going to do that for Doomsday. Although I thought about doing a subathon, and if we get to a certain amount of subscribers, we do a Doomsday theater thing. But then I was like, if I do that, you guys will probably get us there, and then we'll probably have to do it. You know? So... Yes, both parts. If there's 2 parts, Carl. I mean, I think it's real, but we'll see. I think it's real, but we'll see. Blade needs a Halloween R-rated movie special. They do the Werewolf by Night, Blade and Black Knight, searching for the Mark Moon Knight. Yeah, something like that would be cool. Yeah, I have all my parts. That's good, man. Do you still have a good relationship with Theory? Yeah, we worked it all out, man. Super close still. Much love, everyone. Appreciate you, man. Josh, what if Doom was on Epstein Island for much of it? That would be a pretty... You know what's funny about that? Should I even say this? What if there was something that Marvel was going to do with Doctor Doom that weirdly did connect to the Epstein shit? Wouldn't that be terrible? Wouldn't that be super bad luck for them? Why does that keep happening to them? I dare not say it. I dare not speak it because I want it to be in the movie. Yeah, Pandemic Productions. Exactly, yeah. I dare not speak it. I dare not. Oh, God. No. No. I shouldn't even look at chat, you guys. All right, everybody. Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Much hello. What, I got sparkle in my beard now? Has that been there the whole time? The fuck is that? You see that green sparkle? I didn't even have any stripper cheeseburgers. That doesn't make any sense. Hey, is it too bright, guys? Everybody left. We can be honest. Is it too bright? Should I turn it down now? Or is this a good brighting? Is this a good brightness, or should I turn the lights off? Let me know. It's beautiful. Perfect. Cool. George, I trust you. All right, everybody, much love. I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you all for being here. Much love. And as I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, have an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. No, I don't like that one. Change it. That'll do. Is everybody gone? Did anybody leave? Oh man, a happy landing. What a lovely little Wednesday stream. Lots of fun stuff going on out there in the world, you know. Star Wars killing it. AI ruining the world. It's over. Everything is gone. We're done. It's done. We're done. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Lots more fun to be had. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and then Friday we'll be back at it for members. Really appreciate you. Hey, do me a favor on your way out of here. Actually, make it two. Open up your third eye. And watch out your stinky butt. I'll see you later.